Join me in the Lord's Prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Dudley?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the agenda and the addendum?
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Dudley?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Mr. Yurdak?
Okay, we have limited public participation tonight. Got a lot of things going on. We'll start off with Seacrest Elementary.
Things are going well at Seacrest. We had a Toodle Challenge, which 14 members of our staff participated in that. And what that is, it is a shout out to students and staff members who are doing really good things. And we had have a Toodle tree, and it was just covered with Toodles. It was wonderful. And our PACS internal partner was very excited, and our students were excited because it was just letting people know the good things they're doing. So it worked out very nicely. As far as reaching out to parents, just this month, we sent home 1,500 messages through our dojo system to parents, sharing 38 stories with them, and the feedback that we've had has been 95% positive. So I think we're reaching out to parents, we're doing a great job with that, and we're being very positive in doing that. So that's always a good thing. And we have a reading challenge right now that each grade level has challenged students to read during the month of December, ending on January 2nd. And it's a certain number of minutes. Second grade, I believe, was 300, and then 200 and 100 for kindergarten. And been kind of talking that up a lot, and we're hoping that we have a good result with that come January 3rd. I really think that's about it. We had a nice December. Our second grade program went very well. We'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to the middle school.
All right. We only have a couple quick things too. Just update on the Cold Christmas program. First of all, our Gazelle versus Sender match was epic. The kids loved it. I know, Brad, you got to see live, and there was a video online of the actual pieing. We actually was so close, we had to have a tiebreaker, some shooting of basketballs, plus it was more entertaining for us. So, and they were good sports about it. And we might have had a pie for the winner too. So the kids really like that. We also had a large community donation, which really took us up, and we're able to provide some nice stuff for several families. We did want to thank our elves, our secretary, Mrs. Jackson, our counselor, Ms. McGee, and several members of Mr. Jarrett's class who did all the wrapping for us, including wrapping it up in paper to make it look like Santa's bag. It was very creative, and they did a lot of hard work. And just the other thing we had our first middle school dance in over 2 years yesterday. It's a day I usually dread, but it was very successful, and I don't know if it's because we haven't had one for a long time, but the kids were very receptive, and they were out there hopping around, singing along with the music, which I've never seen in 22 years at middle school. But they had a good time, no discipline problems, so we consider it successes. And they may have learned one in the spring too. So.
Thanks, JP.
Special Ed, Jude.
Hey, I have something to share that just came out last week. It is our Ode Special Ed Profile. I wanted to hand this to you. Obviously, it can be accessed. It's a little different this year due to COVID and due to some things. They're releasing it in December and then again at the end of the year. And I'm happy to tell you it came out very well this year. But something I do need to share with you is that we had one area, it's called a finding, that we'll be working on with the state, is we have an overrepresentation of students that need speech and language. And many of you know why this is. We have several nonverbal. We have several students in preschool all the way up through even high school that still require speech services, speech and language. So it's a sad time. I mean, it's a sad time for Guernsey County that all of the schools in Guernsey County had that overrepresentation, and it just shows the effects that service is needed. So we'll be working with the state to address that area. It's finding under essential question number 5, and I did want you to see that because obviously there's several areas that we did meet, and one that we haven't met for a very long time, and everybody's been working on that in Rolling Hills for a very long time, is to get a hold of our alternate assessment numbers. We also serve a lot of students, since the Board of PD now shares those students with us, and they are our students, and we're thrilled to have them. Our principals, that's how we assess these students, through the alternate, and we finally got that number to where it is under 1.0, so that we met that criteria. So that's been something the state has challenged the districts to do, so I was really proud of our district for addressing that. So one area that we haven't met that we're gonna keep working on, and then we are anxious to get the final result, which will come out at the end of the year. The other thing that I have to share with everybody, and I wasn't sure if I was be able to share this, but last week we were given the go-ahead to have Colt Club basketball. Any of you that have followed that is our special needs, along the lines of special education program out of MRDD. It is funded by there, so we write a grant for that. We have coaches that step forward for a very small amount of stipend through the Board of DD, but they put a lot of hours. The coaches met in Byesville. We met last week with Cambridge, East Guernsey, and Meadowbrook. We'll be competing in the month of January on Sundays. So we'll be competing. We each have teams. We support each other. If they don't have enough numbers, we do. We also have some great referees that have volunteered their time. So hopefully at next board meeting in January, I'll be able to share with you a little more on some flyers on that, but it looks like they're gonna try for Sundays in January. And again, that's very hopeful because, again, they just allowed it last week, so we're really crossing our fingers. But we wanted to go ahead and get the kids excited because they see the other basketball going, so we wanted to go ahead, so hopefully we'll be able to see some of you out at those games.
Thanks, Jude.
Thank you. Curriculum, Molly?
So we've been continuing our English Language Arts curriculum alignment, and our teachers, especially 3-5, we've been doing a lot of meetings with them. We're pulling by grade, and they've been doing a ton of work making sure that they have all the activities and the resources and everything aligned so that we can share that, so everything is available for someone even if they switch grade levels. Everything's consistent, because that's what we're seeing in our curriculum, is that things don't stay consistent as people move, so we want to make sure that happens. So we're working on that. And continuing with the math PD with Kai Davis. MAP and STAR testing's finalizing right now. MAP finished today. STAR will finish in January, and that's our assessments for reading and math. We did find out though that with our gifted assessments, we usually do grade band assessments in 2nd and 6th grade for our gifted, and that's the superior cognitive IQ testing. But we also have to do area testing, like reading and math and science. So because we're giving MAP and STAR now, they are identifying, they are screeners now. So we have to, and I wanna thank Vicki and Angie, the EMIS coordinators, for all their hard work, because they had to put in a gifted screening service for every single student, grades 2 through 12. And that, or actually 1 through 12. So that was a lot of work on their end, and Marina Colombo, our gifted coordinator, was really helpful in that as well. We went through the Secure Data Center to make sure that we're reporting our gifted correctly, because this is gonna count. This year is actually gonna make a difference. Hopefully we can get our high school off of watch and gifted. So we're really trying to make sure that we have everything documented correctly, because we're doing the work. It just wasn't always documented the way it needed to be, because we're learning about this system. So we've double checked and triple checked, and we think we have everything correct now, and the data was just due this week. So fingers crossed that that works.
Okay, well, thank you.
Hey Dennis. Yeah. I just wanted to compliment Brooke Intermediate. I went out there on in my professional job, and was a teacher had asked to see me about one of her students. So usually when I go out there, I sit in the office and I see the kids. This time I was walking down the hall, and a teacher saw me, and she approached me. She wanted to know who I was, what I was doing there, what proof I had, and everything. And so I explained to her my job as a therapist and all that, and she was placated, and she turned away. I said, and I want to thank you, and she was like, for what? And then I explained my role with the board, and I congratulated Mrs. Sowers on that, because she was it was Mrs. Mills. she was on it. I mean, she saw me, she didn't know me, and she came after me and wanted to know what I was doing there. So I just wanted to get that on the record that,
It doesn't happen very often.
no. The other schools know me,
Right.
yeah, and so, yeah,
That doesn't happen very often.
no.
Public participation, Jason canceled, but, you know, for those of you that knew why he was coming about the property, we are in the process of getting an assessment and working with the CDC to see where we're at, because I don't think any of us are real estate agents that even know what it would be worth to even start with, so we are, you can tell him, we are working on it. Okay, treasurer's report.
Okay, I have a short, sweet. I have approval of the minutes from November 24th and approval of financial report for November.
Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions on the two items? Roll call.
Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Dudley?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Okay, understanding committees, I know you have something
Yeah, I have
on
something.
the vocational. school.
Yeah, the vocational school's been trying for a while to get, CDL, training school. They, have secured, we have secured a site now, I keep forgetting I'm on that road too. We've secured a site, south of Zanesville. Our bids have been accepted for the property. So once we get the, soil testing done, it looks like, we'll be able to put in this, school, and it will be a testing center as well. Currently, the nearest testing centers were Columbus and Junaid and Hutton. And Junaid and Hutton closed, or are closing, because
Are
the
they?
couple's retiring, yes.
Oh.
Wow.
So this makes it a lot easier for anybody local that wants to
I
get
think
their
it's
CDL.
huge, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get some bus drivers.
So as a kid graduates high school, student graduates high school, at 18 years old, they can have a CDL.
Mhm.
Not hazmat, but they can have a
Right.
class A or B or C
Right.
CDL, which is awesome.
Right, and if I wanted to go,
Yeah.
I can get mine
Or
too, so.
I can send my employees over there to be tested, or if
Mhm.
I've had future employees.
Right.
It's awesome. That's
Yeah,
a
it is.
great thing.
Yes, and I know,
You guys all see the demand for truck drivers, and it's a good thing.
Matt Sheridan worked really hard, he's the superintendent over there, and he worked really hard to get this done.
I'm really glad to hear that,
Yeah.
because especially with Junaid, I didn't know Junaid hadn't
Yeah.
been closed, so.
Okay,
Um,
he said,
Buildings and grounds, do we have any idea why the lights are so dark in the parking lot at the high school?
no idea.
They're just,
Yeah.
they've been dark.
They're lit up, but they're dark.
They're dark,
I'll check
on that, but it's
Yeah,
been,
what Dave said in the meeting, remember, at the board, at the building meeting, he said that water keeps getting in it, like it's underground, and so they're aware of it, I think they were working on it, but
Okay.
we might need to get
we might
someone
have
to
get
come
some
in.
portable lighting maybe, for, just again,
Since it's,
yeah,
because they already think they're gonna replace all those, because the building will come out,
Working on.
it's the whole parking lot, and it's dark.
definitely the
Light.
basketball side.
Yeah, I've had a lot of, older ladies complain.
Well, this older guy's complaining because once I got to the wheelchair or
Yeah.
the hand, you can't tell where it is if you step down. So even if we gotta get portable lights, I'd like to see something to, fire up the engine and start, I don't know, it costs money, but, the other thing I have is, they're cleaning out the home ec rooms at the high school, or home ec room.
Consumer science, same thing.
Yeah, I was approached about, they've got several items there, including like 5 stoves. Do we have a plan for those? Are we gonna sell them, gonna
You
hold a
would-
yard sale?
One would have to either bid them out or auction them, one of the two.
Yeah, cause if not, they're going to storage and, we don't
They're
We
not
don't
gonna
need
go
them,
good.
so we figure out something to do with those, sell them or something.
If the value's not
I
very
know-
high, which it wouldn't be, we don't have to bid it out, so I can look into
Yeah,
what they're gonna get rid of.
I know the
Yeah,
concession
see.
stand, whatever, got some small items to use over the concession stand, but I know there's, I believe like 5 stoves and stuff over there.
I'd even be able to do a silent bid through the district for the teachers or something, you know what I mean? And
How about the, football
way
concession
everybody
stand?
has a
Does
chance.
any of that stuff need replaced?
It's a possibility, so, maybe, what's her name, Katie could take a look, you know, it's just that much less the janitor's gotta either, throw out or pack up and put in packing. One thing on the sports side, I wish Mr. Wheeler was here, cause I told him I'm gonna bring it up, just wanna make you guys aware, I'm a real proponent in getting Steubenville off our schedule from the boys' side. It was atrocious, I'm there well after the game, and there were not nice people from there. It makes 2 solid years that
the basketball game.
it went bad down there, now it went bad here, to include them coming down out of the stands and asking to fight the Meadowbrook people, and none of us took, they accused our, and I'll just say it, they accused our kids in the student section, one of the Steubenville boys did an intentional foul, put the kid, you know, Webster, I believe it was, ended up in front of the student section. Their athletic director from Steubenville come down and raised a crazy fit, saying that our kids were down there kicking his kid who was down also, and it just didn't happen. So then after the game, you know, they have people coming down asking to fight. And
How does
I think we need to get them off our schedule.
How does Mr. Wheeler feel? You talked to him then?
We talked that night.
Yeah.
I told him though that, I said, I'm gonna bring it up, that's 2 years where there's intentional fouls, somebody's gonna get hurt. I'd rather, they brought 75 people with them, I'd rather play somebody like Shenandoah, we'll pack the house. That's just my feeling, but I told him I was gonna bring it up before the board.
Anybody have anything else on the committees? All right, is there no old business? Go to the superintendent's report.
Okay, employment, we have Jessica Clendenning, a substitute cook, Mary Furman, 21st Century Program paraprofessional, Holly Gadd and Amanda Stewart as substitute nurses, that's letter A. B, following maternity leave, Victoria Pointer and Hannah Dykey. Approved the tentative graduation list as presented. Approved the following retirement as of 6/30/2022. Mrs. McCauley from the high school, worked with her for 2 years, just a great person, and we appreciate all her service at Meadowbrook. Letter E, approved the following 21st Century program, which is also Mary Furman, and then approved the Trans Finder proposal as presented. That's the busing software to reroute our routes. So superintendent asked you to approve A through F.
How about G?
That's a second.
That's a separate, we're gonna do that separate.
Separate, yep.
All right, do I have a motion for items A through F?
I'll move.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions on any of the items? Roll call.
Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Mr. Yerga?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Dudley?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes. Okay, letter G, we need to nominate Mr. Detra here as the president pro tem for the organizational meeting, which then we'll figure out who's going to be where. So nominate Mr. Detra to be the president pro tem for the board meeting held on now, we know, January 13th.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions? We will also have a regular meeting later that month, so this will just be an organizational meeting. There won't be any items on the agenda except for that, because we have to meet later in the month, because bids coming in on a project, but we also have to have an organizational meeting before the 15th of January by law, so. The meeting on the 13th will be at 6:30, it'll be an organizational meeting and only an organizational meeting.
Thursday, correct?
Correct.
That's on a Thursday. Do I have a motion for item G?
Motion.
And a second.
Oh, we did that already.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, we already did that?
Yep.
Roll call then.
Okay, Mr. Dudley?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Nay.
Yes.
I already checked it, man. What's your?
Yes.
No correspondence.
Okay, there are no correspondence, no informational items. We're gonna have a short executive session, which no business will be conducted afterwards, so you're free to leave if you would like to. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
I have a second.
Second.
6:50.
Roll call.
Thank you.
6:51.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.